being sent up and also endorse the suggestions that have come up for action that can be taken up by this group and also by the university. But there are 2 or 3 more things that I want to say. One is that, unlike Professor Narasimha Rao, I think that this is Narasimha Reddy. Apologies. Profound apologies. That unlike the idea that this is for him some kind of a condolence meeting, I think we're facing all this kind of repression precisely because the movement is very strong. And the repression is distracting us from self-knowledge about what we are and what can be done. That earlier this kind of repression was not there because we were not so important. That now there is a larger number of people involved, and don't forget that the ASA actually won the student elections last year. They were not just a Dalit organization. They became a representative student organization, and they also managed to capture the moral and ethical imagination of the student body. I think this was an enormous achievement, and this is an achievement that we cannot fail to re-endorse, that we have to keep repeating that this happened. Don't forget that ASA won the student elections and that a large number of non-Dalit students lined up behind the ASA in their protests and their demands and so on. So that the ethical leadership and the ethical initiative has been taken over now, and this is the real threat that the institution is facing. The institution is really undermined, or almost undermined, and this is happening nationwide. Earlier there were protests, but people like me and people like many of us sitting here were totally in authority, and we kept everything modulated. We kept it under control, as it were, and contributed our share to. But now this control is waning, and it is the most marvelous thing that is happening to the university. But it's also a very difficult time for us. It's a difficult time for all of us because people are afraid. People at the other end are truly unnerved. And we have to seize this moment. It's important for us to know that this is a moment of great importance because of the strength that we have. Now, we know that this Hyderabad University, unlike many other universities, has really seriously invested in working on and thinking about the caste question, more than any other university. And there are reasons for this. Caste is an important issue in South India in the way it is not in the rest of the country. It's like, it has, the caste demography is different, the history of caste movements is different, the issues that have been raised is different, the bid in educational institutions is different, the articulateness of Dalits and backward caste intellectuals and students is different. So Hyderabad University is a leading university in this. I always think that we are always looking at what went wrong, but it's very important to think about what went right. That in terms of the picture in India as a whole, this is a significant and a key moment, and we cannot fail this moment. That's our responsibility, that we have to rise to this moment. The other thing is, I'm sure all of you know, but I'm surprised we're not making these connections more often. The University of Witwatersrand in South Africa was closed down last week. Students in South Africa are protesting, and they are saying these South African universities are not catering to the needs of black students. These universities have remained elite, they have remained unconnected with society, and they are hostile to the students that are coming in. The fees are too much, the rules are unbearable, teaching is not oriented toward this. They're making very elaborate and very sophisticated arguments. And the universities had to close down. Now, the South African government is supposed to be a new African government as against the old white government. But we know that the students and many South Africans have many complaints against this government that is in place. But the student movement is very strong and it has made an impact worldwide. It started with that statue of Cecil Rhodes that they took it up and they said the Oxford scholarship, the Rhodes Scholarship must change its name, the statue must fall, so it's called Rhodes Must Fall. But then it escalated and became a huge movement. Again, police was called in, the university was closed down, it's seen as a law and order situation. Now, only when something is really important does it take on that kind of state of risk. And we must see that we are important. I mean, we are not unimportant at this stage. And I'm saying this mainly to the students, but also to the teachers and everybody else who's sympathetic. You also know that at the same time, this is not just in universities, but also more broadly in the country, but very strongly in the universities. There is a movement of black people in the US, which is called Black Lives Matter. And I think some of your slogans also picked it up. You said Dalit Lives Matter in your slogans. Now this was a connection with that movement. So making all these connections are also important. We should be in touch with these other movements and see the potential of what is the real democratic potential. One kind of democracy is democracy to say what you think. Another kind of democracy is democracy where an institution belongs to the people it should belong to and is actually servicing them. Both democracies are very important. So that's as much as I want to say at this moment. I want to say, listen, what we're doing is very, very important. We may not look big, we may not have muscle power, the press may be not wanting to listen to us as much as it used to before, but what we're doing is very, very important.